Everything is connected to the internet. Your phone, your car, your TV. Yup, internet. I'm telling you this because I was convicted of crimes I committed on the internet. I'm a hacker, but I got caught. Now I'm going to prison. Part of my plea deal is to educate you poor sheep on how to avoid criminals like me. Unless you take measures to protect your devices, your personal and financial information can be at risk for theft. The sad part is, most hacking nowadays is not done by executing fancy schmancy bits of code. Most successful attacks are done by using something called social engineering. Social engineering is the art of manipulating people so they give up confidential information. This information is then used to gain access to otherwise secure entry points in a network. Most common users do not realize that they have fallen for the traps that we have set, and in most cases, the damage is already done before they know it. We use social engineering tactics because it is usually easier to exploit your natural inclination to trust than it is to discover ways to hack into your system. If you are the one who just accepts something at face value, you are at high risk. For example, it doesn't matter how many locks and deadbolts are on your doors and windows, or if you have guard dogs, alarm systems, floodlights, fences with barbed wire, and armed security personnel. If you trust a person at the gate who says he is the pizza delivery guy and you let him in without first checking to see if he is legitimate, you are completely exposed to whatever risk he represents. There are many ways we would carry out our social engineering attacks. Most of the time we would send emails designed to trick you into giving us your credit card or bank information, your social security number, or a password. Some attacks are even carried out over the phone. Some people are just dumb and we counted on that. Getting information out of the uninformed is just like taking candy from a baby. I like candy. Even emails you receive from friends can be malicious. Once we are able to access somebody's email, most of the time we also have access to all of their contacts as well. The malicious emails will then spread to those people too, in hopes of them falling into our trap. If somebody else does, then we add one more set of contacts to spread our malicious message to. These messages may contain a link that you just have to check out, or a download of a picture, movie, or document. They may also create a compelling story to get you to send them money or ask you to donate to a phony charity or fundraiser. Obviously, the money that is supposed to be sent to your friend or that charity becomes our next paycheck. You would have thought that people are smarter than this, but you would be surprised how often we get paid. Phishing attempts are also quite popular. They often are sent in the form of an email, Facebook or Twitter comment, or text message that appears to come from a legitimate website. For example, you may receive a message that explains that there is a problem and requires you to verify your information by clicking on a bogus link that looks almost identical to the real site. Information you input is sent to the hacker. Congratulations. You just gave us everything we need to steal your money and probably your identity too. Sometimes we get lazy and the bogus link just downloads a malicious program onto your computer without your knowledge. This program is usually malware, or my favorite, ransomware. But more on that later. So in order to protect yourself from these attacks, just follow the golden rule. Don't click on anything. Stop and reread the message a few times and consider the validity of what the message is telling you. Research the facts before you click any links in any email. Never respond to spam. Delete requests for financial information or passwords, and reject any requests for help. Beware of any downloads and set spam filters to high. Also consider using multiple email addresses, one for personal and the other for correspondence with companies you regularly deal with. Install an antivirus, firewall, and an email filter and make sure to keep them all up to date. Any and all information we can get from you will be used against you. If enough information is gathered about a person, most of the time it is sold to other criminals, and they often will construct a new identity for themselves using your credentials. This is known as identity theft. These criminals will fraudulently apply for credit, file for your taxes, or get medical services. They will rack up debt and buy all the things, and when they're done, you are on the hook for everything. There is a new type of identity theft called synthetic identity theft. Unlike traditional identity theft, a thief will steal pieces of information from different people to create a new identity. It is difficult to detect because the fraud isn't directly tied to just one person, and fraud alerts and monitoring services are unable to stop these scams before it is too late. Children's social security numbers are at high risk and are frequently used because nobody will be checking their credit score until they're much older. Secure your social security number. Avoid entering it on websites unless you know for sure that the connection is secure and the website is legitimate. Do not respond to unsolicited requests for your information. Permanently delete any emails that may contain banking statements, bills, or receipts that contain personal or financial information. Create complex passwords and order and review credit reports once per year. If you believe you have fallen victim to identity theft, report it immediately to the Federal Trade Commission and your local police department. There are many types of malicious programs floating around on the internet. For the average user, they are a nuisance and hog the machine's vital resources. Some examples include viruses, worms, backdoors, keystroke loggers, and rootkits. My favorite programs are called ransomware and are installed on a computer that restricts access to the system until the user pays the hacker. Sometimes ransomware programs encrypt important data and will not be released unless a payment is made, and sometimes not even then. Any device connected to the internet can be held hostage by ransomware. If you are a victim of ransomware, GG. Pay up.